So, Caleb, obviously the Jets this past year only won 2 games, but there is some bright spots on this Jets team, just a couple, not a bunch of them, but there's a couple. You got Denzel Mims, who projects to me to be a number one wide receiver if he can reach his full potential. You look at a guy like Quinnen Williams. Personally, I actually had Quinnen Williams rated as the best player in his draft class. Now, obviously, guys like Nick Bosa and Kyler Murray have kind of taken, the title of best player in that draft. But Quinnen Williams, he really burst onto the scene this year. A lot of people thought that he was going to be a bust after his rookie year, really, having a disappointing performance. But I could see him becoming a top 3 defensive tackle very, very soon. You look at a guy like Mekhi Becton, guy stepped right in, was a hit at left tackle. He looks to be a cornerstone for the future. And you guys obviously have some draft picks. So, Caleb, what do you think right now is the brightest spot on the New York Jets roster? As maybe you could talk about the picks or the players. What do you think?
Well, with the current roster, I'd say the D-line is very talented. Quinnen Williams, Robert Saleh and Jeff Albrecht are going to bring in a 4-3 style defense. And Quinnen Williams projects to be almost like an Eric Armstead in that defense, I could see him dominating people. And his rookie season was kind of disappointing, but he dealt with an injury. I don't remember what the injury was. Foot, hand. It was some sort of injury that he dealt with the entire season. And this season, he more than doubled his numbers. He played phenomenal, and he played like he deserved to be drafted number 3 overall. So, Quinnen Williams there. John Franklin Myers was a waiver claim from the Rams. Not this past season, but the year prior that Joe Douglas was able to get. And he played really well next to Williams. Faliafatu Kasi, he played very well too. He was a 6th-round pick a couple years ago. So the D-line has potential. If they get an edge rusher, that it's going to be lights out. And this defense needs an edge rusher. If they're running 4-3, cover 3, they're going to need someone on the edge to get to the quarterback. And if they are able to get that, I have no problems with the defensive line. I also like Mekhi Becton, just watching him plow people almost every play. He held his ground against the Chargers, and he went up against both Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. I don't think he gave up a sack in that game. That's for a rookie, that's impressive. He's a mountain of a man. And the Jets' best run plays, coincidentally, when they ran right behind Mekhi Becton. The offensive line is looking... That's one thing Joe Douglas did last offseason. He wanted to rebuild the offensive line. And in a way, he did. He got Mekhi Becton. I mentioned George Fant earlier. Tackles positions are settled. Connor McGovern, he's a good placeholder for now. He improved in the latter half of the season. They've claimed Pat Elflein, former Buckeye, off waivers, and he played really well too in the latter half of the year. So they get a guard. Offensive line could be not phenomenal, but competent. So there are, like you mentioned, young pieces. Up front in the trenches is probably where the Jets are the best right now, because skill position groups need a lot of work. Denzel Mims, I think if he stays healthy, he'll be a pretty good receiver, but you got to get another guy opposite of Mims. Jameson Crowder isn't that guy. He's more of a slot. Running back position, there's a couple guys that can get carries and get decent yards, but you don't have an every down back. But then again, Shanahan didn't really need an every down back. And if that's the offense that's coming in, maybe you don't focus too much on the running back position and just hope that they're able to scheme plays open like Shanahan did. The cornerback group, I'm a little bit worried about. They need to get a solid corner over there. They drafted Bryce Hall in the 5th round last year. And he played, when he came back from injury, he played really well. So that's one side is fine, but you still got to get at least one other corner some depth. Marcus May, he needs to be re-signed. He is a very talented safety, and I think without Jamal Adams there, he proved that even more. And CJ Mosley will hopefully be back next year too. So the defense should be good if they get another corner. but where they're strongest right now is in the trenches.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.